I want to tell you about this Egyptian thing. Wait till you hear this. The UK Daily Mail is reporting that the Muslim Brotherhood has passed a law granting husbands permission to have sex with their wives up to 6 hours after the wife has died. That's exactly right. Egyptian husbands will soon be legally allowed to have sex with their dead wives for up to 6 hours after their death. The controversial new law is part of a raft of measures being introduced by the Islamist-dominated parliament under the control of Muslim Brotherhood. It will also see... I read this and I said, the nags are coming after me. The Now Gang is coming after me. And meanwhile, in Egypt, you will be able, husbands permitted to have sex with their wives up to 6 hours after the wife has died. It will also see, the new law will also see, what do you mean a widespread problem? What do you... No. Look, not an expert here on Sharia law. I'm not an expert on this. I don't know if this is new or if it's been practiced and they just finally had to codify it because it's been going on for so long. The Daily Mail, the UK Daily Mail, who reports the story, is holding out the possibility that this could be bogus. This is what I mean, seeded by pro-Mubarak forces to embarrass the Brotherhood, which, of course, has a very, very tight relationship with Obama. The Brotherhood was here. The Brotherhood had White House meetings, and they're not. I mean, before they were elected heads of state, the Brotherhood is more welcome in the White House than Boehner is, for example. Now, in addition to, by the way, lest you think that this is sexist, wives also have permission to have sex with their dead husbands in Egypt for 6 hours after he has died. But nobody has figured out yet how to successfully perform sex on a male corpse. But I'm told that engineers are working on it. Dawn's shaking her head. This can't be true. It can't. I know that's the initial knee-jerk reaction to this. But it hit. I first heard it yesterday afternoon when I got home and immediately started working on today's program. The new law, which allows all this post-death sex, will also see the minimum age of marriage lowered to 14 and the getting rid of women's rights of getting an education and employment. The law will now make it possible for women to be prohibited from getting an education or a job. Meanwhile, the nags are coming after me. Egypt's National Council for Women is campaigning against the changes, saying that marginalizing and undermining the status of women would negatively affect the country's human development. Now, the subject of a husband having sex with his dead wife, Snurdly asked about this, where did this come from? The subject of a husband having sex with his dead wife arose in May of 2011, a year ago, when Moroccan cleric Zamzami Abdul Bari said marriage remains valid even after death. And he also said that women have the right to have sex with her dead husband. That's in Al Arabiya. But again, performing sex on a male corpse, maybe they know how to do that down in Colombia. We'll find out. Folks, do you remember? I will never forget this. We had this video, in fact, on the Rush Limbaugh television show back in the 90s. Back when Bill Clinton was president, they discovered a mummy. I think it was a Peruvian mummy And they named the movie Juanita, the mummy, they named the mummy Juanita, was an Incan mummy, newly discovered, on display at the National Geographic Museum. And when they first discovered this thing, somehow Clinton made reference to it. I will never forget, he actually said this, folks. And this ties into the necrophilia story, Muslim Brotherhood. Clinton said, if I were a single man, I might ask that mummy out. That's a good-looking mummy. Dawn, you weren't with us then, but don't doubt me. This actually happened. And nobody was surprised that Clinton would look at a 100-year-old mummy and see a sex object. So I'm wondering if Clinton's been to Egypt. Now, since there was so much doubt about this, I decided to look further, and I've got a story here from the UK Telegraph from last year, May of 2011. An imam in Morocco issued a fatwa stating that necrophilia is religiously acceptable in Islam. He said that a husband has the right to have sex with his dead wife. The imam, whose name is Zamzami Abdelbari, said that marriage remains valid even after death, which does not cancel a marriage link. He took as evidence a Quranic verse which says that Muslim believers will go to paradise with their wives. Sheikh Zamzami said that the husband has the right to have sex with his dead wife. He added the husband may wash the body of his dead wife and have sex with her. He said that the woman also has the same right, but failed to explain how a woman can manage to perform sex with the corpse of her dead husband. However, Sheikh Zamzami tempered his most unusual fatwa by stating that necrophilia is a disgusting act that would best be avoided, but it's okay to do it. And so a year later, the story has shown up that the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt now wants to make this commonplace. Now, the local source for the UK Daily Mail story is Al Arabiya, which is, I have to admit here, they're such a respected media outlet. They were the first people in the world to get an interview with Obama once he was inaugurated. I should have suspected this. I didn't. I should have. I wasn't thinking. All of the reaction, emails I'm getting to the story out of Egypt, Muslim Brotherhood now permitting sex with your dead wife for 6 hours after her death. One question I had on my own was, who provides the contraceptives when you have an Egyptian guy has sex with his dead wife? I got an email from a guy who said, how do the Egyptian men know that their wife is dead when they're having sex with them? I should have known that I was going to get this kind of stuff. And now all the wizards are smart are saying, hey, Rush, ever heard of rigor mortis? Ever heard of rigor mortis? I mean, that could be a way for the wife to continue the coital relationship post-death. Don't know enough about rigor mortis and how long it lasts and what all it affects. But it sounds good to me.